So Bernie Sanders and all of the left in the progressive House of Representatives and the Senate looks like they want to push to get these new stimulus packages moving forward, and they're not going to budge. I know Bernie Sanders is he's a big aggressive proponent of getting these big stimulus packages done. He loves to take the government money and spend it, and that's what they're going to try to push into this new stimulus package. There's a reconciliation package, which is $1.9 trillion. That's going to be more geared for infrastructure, getting roads, bridges, all of that, getting people back to work. And then you have the $3.5 trillion budget plan. This possibly could be the American Families Plan, getting that moving forward. So as liberal lawmakers in the House of Senate are calling for social safety net programs to be universal as possible, pushing back against centrist Senator Joe Manchin calls for the programs to be means tested and targeted towards the lowest income households. They also want programs that provide benefits to families to start as quickly as possible, rather than have delayed start date in an effort to minimize the price tag. So the overall cost of the reconciliation package is going to have to be cut down from the $3.5 trillion mark championed by Senator Bernie Sanders and other progressives in order to win support of Manchin, Senator Kristen Sinema, and some centrist Democrats in the House. So a number of moderate Democrats would prefer that fewer items be funded for a longer period of time. The progressives are holding firm on some of the specific items they want included in the measure, too. Most notably, they are interested in insisting that the bill include expanding Medicare or cover dental, vision, and hearing care. Problem is, a lot of these Democrats, they don't understand that they're going to have to tax more people, they're going to have to print more money, and that's going to put a lot of pressure on the U.S. dollar. Already the U.S. dollar is struggling right now to try to keep the value going. In fact, Social Security right now is going to be raising up the Social Security by 5.6%. Now, inflation right now is running about 10 or 11%, meaning they're printing so much money that the prices of everything are continue to go up. Now, unless the Federal Reserve, which I don't think they're going to do it, unless they come out and raise interest rates to get that inflation down, I don't think they're going to do that. But if they do that, then what will happen is that should bring the dollar back a little bit. I just don't see it happening. But the lawmakers right now are going to try to push for this new big plan. But one of the things that's happening with Social Security is that the senior, I think it's the Senior Citizens League, they're trying to push for a $1,400 payment. That $1,400 payment will be another check for $1,400 that would go out to everybody. It's not law yet, but they're trying to push that through to Congress. Now, the progressives inside the House of Representatives also have a Support Act. And the Support Act is going to be a monthly payment of $1,200 payments on a monthly basis. See, right now the child tax credit is kind of their monthly payment system that's going out on top of the Social Security. So the progressive Democrats, all of them, they want to add on these other programs. So they're going to spend a ton of more money in this new budget. But this child tax credit goes out to about 40 million Americans out there. This is part of the American Rescue Plan. Now, inside the American Rescue Plan also is going to be possibly a fourth stimulus check. Now, the child tax credit, if the American Families Plan gets passed inside of this House of Representatives budget plan, then they're going to extend out the child tax credit through the year 2025 and possibly get a fourth stimulus check in there. The good news is that part of the American Rescue Plan, there was close to $400 billion total that was dispersed to all the states. A lot of these states now are sending out stimulus checks. California is sending out $600 payments plus a $500 bonus but $500 dependent check. So up to $1,100 is going out to the state of California. I've always said that California is leading the way. They're the ones that are leading these charges as far as getting stimulus. Every state in the United States has to spend that money before the December 31st, and I believe they got to send it back. I know a lot of these states aren't going to want to send that federal money back, so they're going to figure out some type of program to get more money out. One of the states that is not going to be using stimulus payments for stimulus is going to be Alabama. They're going to be actually using the money to improve prisons. So I'm not really, I don't know if I agree with that too much. I think that they should be using that money for stimulus. Two states that I like what they're doing is going to be Alaska and Connecticut. Both of these states are incentivizing people to go back to work. So those that go back and find full-time jobs are going to get a bonus check. That's something that that's something Arizona and Connecticut are doing. So Arizona and Connecticut have their back to work program. I know Alaska already has their oil checks that are going out, plus they have some more stimulus payments going out. And then Arizona is going to send out those checks to get people back to work. Again, California has the Golden State stimulus payments. You have until October 15th to file your returns. If you do that, then they will send out a stimulus payment. Also, if you did not file your 2020 returns, you can do that with the free online tool at the Treasury website that will give you the ability to file your returns and then get those returns in. And then you can also get the first, second, and third check if you have done so already. There is a recovery rebate credit section in there that you can fill out. You'll get your first 3 checks. Now, Colorado already has a program, $375 is going on in Colorado. Connecticut, again, has that back to work program. You have Tennessee, Georgia, Maryland, Michigan, Florida. All of these states are sending out checks, bonus checks, to those teachers in that area. Now, Florida did step up, and they're going to be sending out checks to EMT, police, firemen. A lot of the frontline workers are going to be getting checks to those people in that state. Again, there's a lot of good money that's happening with stimulus inside of these states. If they can just step up and start sending out more checks, would be great. I think right now with the problem with a lot of these stimulus checks is that they just have a hard time getting them out. They are sending checks out. People aren't receiving the checks. People aren't not be able to get them. A lot of people cannot get bank accounts. That's a problem I think we see in America, is that people can't go into a bank and get a bank account because the banks just won't bank to them. So in the future, I think the Federal Reserve will come out their FedNow coin. It'll be some kind of stable coin. They'll put an app on your phone and you'll be able to go out there and spend it. Now, nothing's permanent yet, but there's just kind of this here and there talk. I see Jerome Powell talking about it. I see some of the other politicians talking about it. They're coming up against a lot of competition right now. This is the first time in the history of our nation that the people that print the money are coming up with some competition. So they're going to have to figure out ways to change up what they're doing right now and go digitally. And that's what I think is going to happen. There will be some type of, the money will be able to get into your account quickly, but there are going to be some type of time limits on it. They'll have it where you have to spend that money within a week, maybe a month. That could be good. It could also lead to a lot of inflation. So that means you'd have a great stimulus check, but going to the store and buying things, the amount of dollars it's going to take in order to buy things in the future with this central coin is going to be huge. So I think that what I try to encourage people to do is, if you can, pick up some hard assets, some real things that you can put your money into that hold their value. Gold and silver has always been good. You have crypto has always been good. Land has always been great if you can pick up some piece of land. I know some friends of mine are picking up land in different countries right now, just going out some of those islands and picking up some land out there. They're thinking that's going to be the wave of the future because people are going to be going to a lot of these islands. And so that's what I always see happen right now, is people is going to land. But there are a lot of good options to it. I think the one thing you want to do is not take your stimulus check and stick it in a bank. Banks right now, I think they're old school. I think they're going to be going the ways of newspapers. Newspapers was kind of gone the way of, because of the internet. Banks, I think, are going to do the same thing. And I think they're going to have to really come together and try to figure out what they're going to do, because if not, they're going to be just like the newspapers of old, where they're just going to go in the wind. If you had a child in 2020, you are eligible for a $1,400 stimulus check. When you file your 2022 returns, then you will be able to pick up that $1,400 stimulus checks. So another round of $1,400 stimulus checks could be coming your way in the form of federal government. Parents who had a child in 2021 are likely eligible for another stimulus payment in the year 2022. Another baby is born, parents can receive the additional $1,400 after filing their returns in 2022. Any single parent earning up to $75,000 annually, or couples making $150,000 are eligible to receive that check. So then if you did have children, you add that to your filings. Also, you want to add them as a dependent, because you'll get a check for them, but you'll also add them into the child tax credit, because the child tax credit will give you $300 every month for if they get it passed through the year 2025, and that'll get that money out. So look for that happening right now. Look for a lot of these stimulus checks payments going to be coming down the road as far as getting this new infrastructure bill passed. If they get this budget plan passed, that's possibly going to be the fourth stimulus check.